Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for Creative Aging tonight. This is the first video of what we're going to do, and today in this video we're going to be making dog collars with paracord, and I have a clip, a lighter, and my handy dandy scissors and a tape measure, but I'll probably just measure on my board. This is just as an example of something you might need, or a ruler. Either way, something that you can measure out inches in. I'm going to be making a dog collar for my mom's little dog who's got about a 10-inch around neck. Reason being is that I have two dogs myself, but one of them is a pit bull and one of them is a Great Dane, and that's a lot of collar to make. So for examples today, we'll do it with my mom's little dog's 10-inch neck. So to do that, we'll probably need 2 lengths of paracord that are 5 times the length of the circumference of my dog's neck. Oops, that over there for now. So 10 inches, so I actually need 50 inches. So I'm gonna count them out here on my board, because like I said, this is all marked off in inches, so that's 10 inches right there. 1, let's see here, should spool off easily. It did last time. 3, 4, and 5. So I'm going to cut it right there. And then, because I need 2 lengths, I'll just match the other one up to it. Like, wow, this is super long. That's okay. It needs to be. So now I've got that, and I'm going to melt the ends so they don't fray on me. That's what the lighter's for. Melt those down real quick. 1, 2. It might be a little smoky, but it's okay. I will do these guys. Ouch, burned myself. Holy moly. Anyway, here we go. All right, so here we go. And I'm gonna let those, oh my goodness, I'm making just such a big mess. Holy moly. This is the way my day's gonna go, I think. Take that off of there. Go away, we don't need you. All right, so once these things have cooled down, and it's okay if that one's kind of funky because we'll fix it later. We're going to get our ends matched up. Our other end matched up. Ta-da! And once it's divided completely in half, we're going to loop both of these through your collar. 1. We're just going to see how I looped it through. We'll do the next one too. If you remember doing macrame with me, it's kind of similar, but for this one we're going to want to make sure that we have a lot of space, because that second loop doesn't want to fit through it easily, so I have some devices to help me push it through if I need to. But there it goes. That was easy that time. So we're going to pull that loop out and just put these guys through the other end. Okay. So tighten that up, and it's going to look just like that. See how there's those 2? The way that we're going to tie this is we're going to tie it into a square knot. They call it a cobra weave in paracord terms, but in macrame terms, it's a square knot, and that makes it easier for me. So we're going to take the left strand, the farthest left strand, and it's going to go over the first 2 and under the last one. So it kind of looks like a 4-ish. And then this fellow is going to go around behind all of them and come out the other side. And then that's half of the square knot. And then to complete it, we're going to do the same action on the other side. So there, looks kind of like a 4. It's over those 2, under that one. And then this one is going to go all the way behind everybody and come out that loop right there. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of do this until the strands get long enough. And you can always tell which one was the last one you did, because the side that's the last one you did, the string's coming out the top. So here we go. And you can do this to make bracelets too, if say you don't have any pets or you have a cat. The reason I'm not doing cat collars is because for cats, they need to have what's called a breakaway collar here. This one is not a breakaway collar, because if they get it caught in a tree or one of their multiple little hidey holes that cats like to be a part of, you don't want them to get stuck. You want the collar to be able to unlock. It's probably better if your dog's in a breakaway collar too, but just for this particular thing, this is the clasp I have. You have options here, because as it stands right now, this collar won't be a collar that you could put a leash onto. But you could get an O-ring or a D-ring, and the reason that they're called that is because they look exactly like O's or D's, and just slide it on to those bottom two, and then kind of just make your knots around it, and it'll work fine. So as we go, it's a good thing to just, you know, hand-dandily have out your measuring. So I'm at 4 inches there, so we've got a little ways to go. But it makes a really nice flat collar, and it's not gonna pinch your animals. See how I did that? I did those two right on top of each other. I knew I would do that too. So there we go. This is actually really cool paracord too for a dog collar, because it has reflective bits in it. And as we go, we go. So I think we have a pretty good indicator of what needs to happen. And say for some reason you're running out of string, you can honestly just switch those two to be in the middle and start going with the other one. Actually, it's on this side. So see how I've just switched those two to be in the middle? You can just start using the long strands if that happens, because you're not hardly even going to be able to notice a difference, I promise, once you get started and going. So I just switched my knots around there. I like to do that because, you know, sometimes you don't cut the right amount and you maybe need to go back in and change it up. It's okay. I'm well known for not having cut the right amount. And if you guys remember from when we did macrame, I'm horribly, horribly bad with my lefts and rights. And I wish I wasn't, but my mom discovered that about me too, because I was trying to explain. Her son came in my kitchen window the other day and made quite the hash of it. So she's like, Sharon, I don't even understand what you're trying to tell me. And I said, oh, well, just think of anything that I do, think backwards, and then you'll get it right. We're at 6 inches now. I'm actually going to use this as kind of a stopping point, even though the collar's not done, so that we can talk about how to end this off really quick before we run out of time, because we do 2 videos today. So it's relatively simple. What you're going to do is thread all of your strands through the back here, and if unfortunately you're like me and you melted them and now they're weird, cut them off again. Just for this quick little bit, it's okay to have them frayed. 1. Some of these may fit, some of them may not. Yeah. 2. We gotta get those last 3 in there. 3. grab the green outer bit when you're doing this, otherwise you'll have a mess like what I've got right here. There we go. And last but not least, I know that I'm going to have to do that, so I'll just cut that off too. Pull them through. Ta-da. And you can do a couple of different things. So once you're at this point, you may just want to melt your tips again. And then you can weave them through the outsides of this. And that's what my little pokey thing is for. So you can use a crochet hook, or in my case, a pokey. So why would I have a crochet hook around here? That'd be silly. At any rate, if you didn't weave it as tight as I did here, isn't it fun? You get to see all of my mistakes too. There we go. Weave it through. And once you do one, it's a lot easier to do two. And after you weave it through, truthfully, you can just melt it. And we're going to do that on the other side through that loop there. Now you can make these to be like just everyday collars for your animals, or you can just make them for now and then collars. Like I said, it's going to be hard to put a leash onto this one just because I don't have that ring. I thought I did, but I don't. That's okay. You could get just a clippy jump ring if you wanted and attach it that way. There we go. There's that one, and then that one's going to come through too. Okay, so it goes like that, just like that, and you can weave them through as far as you want to weave them through. What I'm going to do is cut them and then melt them to this. This is the part that doesn't look quite as pretty, but it works. Cut. Cut. And then just melt them in. Let's hope we don't set off any library smoke alarms today. Make sure you don't get it onto your actual weave, or you're going to be real sad. But we're just going to melt those two together. And repeat on the other side so they become solid and meld with that loop there. You want to make sure that they meld really good. You can even press it down with something metal that is not going to be super conductive to your hand, and just make sure that it stays right in there. And afterwards you can trim it up. So that's one side. I'm not going to do the other side because I really don't want to set the smoke alarms off at the library. But you see how that one melted in there? I can unclip it, you can see for sure. Just nice, make sure it's nice and smooth. Melt that other one in, and you have yourself a dog collar, or in this case a bracelet. Alright guys, thanks for joining me for this video, and we will also do how to make fleece dog toys. Alright, see you for video 2.